Hi friends, my name is Bhavya Mangla. I'm IATF qualified auditor doing audit for the automotive sector for the last 19 years. I'm again back with a very interesting topic, and today I'm going to talk about Hoshin Kanri, policy deployment. And by the time this video will end, you will understand what exactly is Hoshin Kanri, why it is important, what are the different 7 steps to implement that, what exactly is the X matrix and Catchball, and what are the key industry challenges with respect to Hoshin Kanri. Let me share a very interesting example. You must have seen that in the rowing competition, the people who are sitting in the boat, they are driving their boat in the one particular direction. And when everybody is driving in the same direction, there is a very high possibility that they will achieve their target. But second point, which is also important, is they also use a compass. The role of compass is that they not only have to move together, but they also have to move together in the right direction. And when the same speed is there and the direction is there, they can achieve whatever target they want to achieve. Something similar happened in the Hoshin Kanri, wherein we are talking about the policy deployment. Primarily, if we talk about Hoshin Kanri, it started somewhere in 1950s post the World War II, when the idea was that how the Japanese people can bring back their industry, and that's why this all thing came. When we talk about Hoshin Kanri, it brings up two particular words, Hoshin and Kanri. When we talk about Hoshin, it means we are talking about compass, and when we talk about Kanri, it means direction. So in a way, we can call it as a compass management or the direction management or the policy deployment, in short, that we can call it. Jim Collison said something very interesting. He said, building a visionary company requires 1% vision and 99% alignment. So the intent is that whenever an organization is thinking about achieving something big, it's very important that they should have a vision and then they know that how to achieve that. So both the strategy and the execution is very important. Now, it brings a very interesting question that why Hoshin Kanri is important even today, even though it started somewhere in 1950s. We all know that we are passing through a turbulent time, especially post-COVID and now with Ukraine-Russia war going on, and so many other things are happening in the supply chain. Nobody is very sure where things are moving and what is the something that something which you are thinking that things are going to happen the way we want. Nobody knows about that. So at this particular time, Hoshin Kanri can play a very important role. Some of the key benefits which an organization can get in case they effectively implement Hoshin Kanri, it can include maybe improved organizational alignment, maybe increased ownership and engagement, easier decision making and more consensus, solution orientation, widespread orientation, and certainly the effective employee deployment. Mark Zuckerberg, who is the founder and CEO of Facebook, he said, the biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risk. So in short, it means that we need to just make sure that we need to take risk and we need to make sure that it should be done in such a way that a strategy should be in place and it should be deployed in such a way so that we can achieve whatever we want. There are two keywords that are generally being used, PDCA and PDSA. When we talk about PDCA, primarily it is talking about policy deployment. And when we talk about SDCA, primarily at that time we are talking about daily work management. So in Hoshin Kanri, it's very important to use both PDCA and SDCA effectively. Only then we can get the desired result. This very interesting thing that is being used in Hoshin Kanri, that's an X diagram. So when we talk about X diagram, primarily it is nothing more but a mapping of the entire thing from starting till the end. So primarily it has got 4 key quadrants. The first quadrant is talking about long-term objectives, which may be 3 to 4 years objective or maybe even more than that. Then the second quadrant is talking about the annual objective, that to achieve that long-term objective, what objective should be there for this particular year. And to achieve that, the third quadrant is talking about what are the high level short term initiative that needs to be taken so that those targets can be achieved. And then finally, to achieve that, the fourth quadrant is talking about the critical metrics or the KPIs, that to achieve that what can be done. Say for example, if we talk about the example of X metrics, Maybe let's say that the organization is thinking that they want to increase their revenue, say double it, whatever it is today. Now, to achieve that in 3 to 5 years, what annual objective should be there in this particular year? So it may be that every year they will target 20 to 25% so that they can achieve that particular target. Now, to achieve that, when you go to the third quadrant, it's very important that we need to increase our sale, we need to increase the competency of the people. It's also important to see that how we can add new products, because only then we can meet all those targets, and there can be many more things. And to achieve that, the fourth quadrant comes wherein we have to specific targets or indicators for each and every person, so that whatever targets are there, they can be achieved. So in short, it's very important that when we talk about Hoshin Kanri, it is about top management till the last person who is there in the organization. Unless and until there's an alignment between these two people, it's very difficult to achieve the target. And to effectively implement Hoshin Kanri, there are 7 different steps which are being used. Once we effectively use these 7 steps, then certainly whatever targets are there, they can be effectively implemented. So let's talk about that. So the first step is talking about, we are talking about with respect to the vision of the organization. And before talking about that, there's a very good saying by a Chinese philosopher. The Chinese philosopher said that victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Some very thought positive thing. So the first thing is to establish the organization vision. When we talk about that, the intent is that where exactly the organization existing today, what exactly they are hoping to achieve, and how they can measure the success, that where are they today and after 5 years, where they're going to be. And then how to know that whether they have reached the goal or not. So let's take example again of the same which I took earlier, that an organization is thinking that they want to double their sales, whatever is there, in the next 5 years. So that brings the first step. Now the second step is developing strategic objectives. So here the intent is that now we have to break through all those things, say from 5 years to 1 year. Again, the intent is that how to achieve that long-term vision, what can be done now so that we can do that. Here the intent is that the objective should not be more, because if they are more, then it's very difficult to achieve that. So for example, when we want to say that we have to double our revenue, maybe 3 to 5 objectives could be that to achieve that, we need to add some new products, we need to increase the customer satisfaction level, and thirdly, it could be with respect to the competency, that we need to enhance the competency of the people overall so that we can achieve that particular target. Now, that brings step number 3. Now we have to develop the annual objectives. So when we talk about annual objectives, here the intent is that to achieve that breakthrough targets, what we need to do with respect to that, so that annually we can review that. Now, when we talk about annual objectives, at times it can be that it may not be only 12 months. If we can finish in 3 months or 6 months or 9 months, that can also be there. And here, another important word comes, that is about the Deming cycle, PDCA, plan, do, check and act. So it's very important that at this particular stage, whatever we are planning, we need to see that whatever has been planned, whether we are doing it exactly as per that, and then we check it, and then in case there is any gap, we take action with respect to that so that we can achieve whatever is there. The fourth step is talking about deploying the annual objectives via Catchball. So this Catchball is a very interesting word. So when we talk about Hoshin Kanri, it's a two-way communication. So it's not that the top management has decided something and everyone has to just follow it without any discussion or without any communication from bottom up. So here the intent is that whenever any targets are being set, each and every employee in the organization is involved in this process. It will be discussed with them that what they think about it, what is their opinion, and based on that things will be decided. So that whatever has been decided, everyone agrees to that, and then they all can work together to achieve that. So that's the intent of Catchball. So when we talk about step number 4 with respect to deploying the annual objectives, here the intent is that we need to just make sure that there is a consensus about how objectives will be met through top-down system, and there is a two-way feedback loop is there between the managers and their direct report. And once that is done, That brings step number 5. Now we need to review the results on a weekly, monthly, and annual basis. Well, Yogi Berra has very rightly said that if you don't know where you are going, you will end up someplace else. So it's very important that management should review the process at regular interval to see the progress, whether they are achieving those goals or not. And in case there is gap is there, that should be identified. So that brings step number 6. We were talking about the problem solving. So here the intent is that now we can identify that what is the gap, why we are not achieving the objective, and what can be done to achieve that. Again, a part of PDCA cycle. And the last 7th step is about annual review. We have to reflect and learn that what all we have achieved, what is not achieved, and if something is not achieved, what can be done with respect to that so that we can work on that. So here we are talking about daily work management. So if I do a summary, primarily I was talking about that we need to first identify what we want to achieve on a long-term basis. Based on that, we have to set some targets. Then those targets should be deployed. It should be a two-way communication between different levels. And we also need to make sure that if we use the X metrics that can summarize in totality about each and everything that we want to achieve from the management perspective till the last individual which is there in the organization. And then there should be a review mechanism so that we can make sure that whatever we have achieved, that becomes a part of our daily work management. And in the last, the most important thing, what are the key challenges that industry is facing with respect to Hoshin Kanri? The first and the foremost is how many people are actually being involved when this kind of strategic deployment is being done, and their consent is always there while the targets are being set. The second key challenge is that yes, even though targets are being set and they are being deployed, how often they are realistic and they are achievable, whether the top management is really focused about that, whether ground level people can achieve that or not when those are being targeted. That's a big challenge that many companies face. Well, my next video will again be something related to that, where I'm going to talk about Obayaru. Regularly, I'm getting a lot of feedback from your side and they're helping me to understand your expectations. So please do continue that. And in case you want to understand a little bit more about this particular video, you can find a link below. If you click that, you find a blog there, and there you find this information in much more detail. And in case you're liking these kind of videos and blogs, you can always share with your friends and colleagues, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and my website, bhavyamangla.com. Thank you.